honored, and I'm also more honored that because, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful that we're able to have this much anticipation and so many people want to go see it.
Hollywood just witnessed a shakeup so seismic that even the most loyal Marvel fans are struggling to comprehend it. Ryan Reynolds, the face of one of the most beloved superhero franchises, has been unceremoniously cut loose. A decision so swift and final, it sent shockwaves through the industry. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just about Ryan. This controversy runs deeper than anyone expected, entangling his wife, Blake Lively, in a high-stakes battle that exposed industry secrets, shattered reputations, and left even Marvel executives scrambling to contain the damage. For months, whispers of growing tension between Ryan and Marvel's top brass had been circulating. At first, it was dismissed as typical Hollywood politics, the kind of behind-the-scenes friction that gets ironed out over time. But then, boom! Out of nowhere, Marvel severed ties with Ryan. And suddenly, those murmurs weren't just noise. They were clues to something far more explosive. The catalyst? A filmmaker named Justin Baldoni, a man known for crafting deeply emotional stories, had taken on the adaptation of a highly anticipated novel. Casting Blake Lively as the lead was supposed to be a masterstroke, an actor-director pairing destined for success. Yet, behind closed doors, everything was unraveling. Blake and Justin clashed repeatedly, with tensions escalating over creative control. Hollywood thrives on drama, but this was different. This wasn't just about artistic differences. It was personal. Rumors swirled that Blake felt sidelined, that Justin was exerting too much influence over the project, leaving her with little room to shape her own role. Then came the accusations. Blake publicly claimed Justin was actively working against her, leaking stories to the press to undermine her credibility. It was a bombshell moment, and at first, the court of public opinion was firmly on her side. After all, history has shown how female stars have often been manipulated, misrepresented, and even blacklisted by powerful male directors. But then, the story took an unexpected and shocking turn. Justin fought back, with receipts, and not just any receipts. Text messages, emails, and internal documents that flipped the entire narrative. Instead of being a victim, the messages painted Blake as the orchestrator, pulling strings behind the scenes to reshape the film's direction, manipulate media coverage, and, most damning of all, leverage her husband's immense influence in Hollywood to apply pressure on Justin. The name she used for Ryan and his allies? Her dragons. A chillingly precise term for the power players she could summon at will. For a while, Ryan remained on the sidelines, silent amid the growing firestorm. Fans assumed he was uninvolved, merely a supportive husband caught in the middle. But that assumption shattered when new evidence surfaced, messages directly tying Ryan to the campaign against Justin. These weren't casual texts. They were strategic moves, tactical leaks to discredit Justin, carefully worded directives aimed at spinning the media narrative in Blake's favor. Ryan Reynolds, Hollywood's golden boy, wasn't just standing by his wife. He was actively working behind the scenes to shift the scales of power. Then came the ultimate twist. Justin revealed he had more. Another set of records, this time irrefutable digital proof that Ryan had played a hands-on role in media manipulation, reputation management, and high-level industry maneuvering. It wasn't just about a film anymore. It was about the unchecked influence of Hollywood elites, using their connections to shape stories, silence dissent, and bend the industry to their will. That was the breaking point. Marvel, a studio that thrives on stability and carefully curated public images, could no longer look the other way. If they ignored this, it would send the message that power games and industry sabotage were acceptable. And so, in a move no one saw coming, they made their decision. Ryan Reynolds was out. The official statement was brutally curt, almost shockingly so. It vaguely referenced a review of new information and concluded that Ryan's position was no longer viable. But it was the tone that stood out. Cold, definitive, and unlike Marvel's usual polished PR speak. Within minutes, social media went into a frenzy. How had one of Hollywood's most bankable stars lost his spot in the most lucrative franchise on the planet? And just like that, the dominoes kept falling. With Ryan's career in question, the spotlight on Blake only grew harsher. Then came another unexpected turn. Her attorney abruptly severed ties, citing irreconcilable differences with her version of events. A move that sent a clear message. Something bigger was at play. The whispers intensified. Had Blake pressured Ryan to intervene? Or had the two of them been orchestrating this campaign together from the very beginning? The illusion of control was crumbling. The silence was deafening. Ryan, once the king of witty comebacks and social media charm, had vanished into a PR void. His usual flood of humor-laced tweets? Gone. His public persona, crafted so meticulously over the years, now lay in shambles. For a man who had always navigated controversy with a smirk and a well-timed joke, the sudden disappearance of his signature banter spoke volumes. Fans, once fiercely loyal, began questioning everything. Was this the beginning of the end? Behind the scenes, panic had taken hold. Marvel's decision to sever ties with one of its most bankable stars sent shockwaves through Hollywood. No studio makes such a drastic move lightly. Insiders whispered that the evidence must have been damning, so incriminating that not even his undeniable box office draw could save him. The power dynamics in Hollywood were shifting, and Ryan's downfall was proof that even the biggest names weren't invincible. But was this truly about justice? Or was it simply another example of Hollywood playing politics behind closed doors? Opinions were split. Some believed Marvel had acted too harshly. Was there really no way to salvage the situation? A carefully worded statement, a tearful interview, a redemption arc. These had worked before. Why not now? Others saw it differently. If the allegations were true, then Marvel had done what no one else dared. They had taken a stand. For years, whispers of unchecked influence and behind-the-scenes manipulation had floated through Hollywood's corridors. Ryan's downfall wasn't just about one actor, it was a warning to all. No amount of fame could shield you from the consequences of your actions. And then there was Blake. The woman who had spent years crafting an image of the perfect Hollywood power couple had suddenly gone radio silent. Her once vibrant social media accounts, where she effortlessly painted the picture of a blissful, envy-inducing family life, had become ghost towns. Speculation ran wild. Was she devastated? Was she strategizing a comeback? Or was she simply realizing that no amount of spin could change the undeniable truth? Some claimed she was furious, convinced that Justin had twisted the story for his own gain. But as more receipts surfaced, those defenses started to crumble. The narrative she once controlled was slipping from her grasp. And with every new leak, fans who had rushed to her side were beginning to rethink their loyalty. Meanwhile, Justin remained steady, his focus locked on the project that had ignited this entire scandal. For him, this was never about revenge. It was about integrity, about protecting the creative vision he had worked so hard to build. While the industry buzzed with speculation, he refused to engage in the chaos. He let the facts speak for themselves, a rare move in an industry where image is everything. And perhaps that's why people began to respect him even more. He wasn't chasing headlines. He wasn't reveling in Ryan's downfall. He was simply standing his ground, proving that sometimes the truth is enough. But Hollywood isn't kind to those who fall from grace. Studios, once eager to attach Ryan's name to their biggest projects, were now quietly pulling back. His future, once a guaranteed string of blockbuster hits, had become a giant question mark. Would he attempt a redemption arc, a carefully crafted apology tour, a high-profile interview where he framed himself as misunderstood, a dramatic tell-all? Or was the damage too severe? Trust had been shattered, and in Hollywood, once that bond is broken, no amount of star power can piece it back together. And in an industry that thrives on reinvention, only time would tell if he'd ever find a way back in. But make no mistake, this story isn't over. Not by a long shot.